Greetings, dear Dhamma listeners. It is time to start our Abhidhamma class in English, hosted to you by Sanghakaya Foundation in India and delivered by our esteemed teacher, Most Venerable Puluwala Ratanasiri Thero from Sri Lanka. So I invite all our Dhamma listeners to either log into the Zoom account, so you can participate live in the session, or you can also follow this session through the Sanghakaya YouTube channel. We are live streaming. So over to you, Reverend Sir.
Yes. Good morning. Let's start our Abhidhamma class today. Today that we are going to discuss about India Vibhanga, that is analysis of faculties. India Vibhanga is other point of view that the Buddha looked at the functions of the body and how the mendicant developed his morality, concentration, and wisdom. In India Vibhanga, Buddha has analyzed all the stages of developing morality, concentration, and wisdom. You know, Abhidhamma is analysis of the being and synthesizing of the being. By analyzing and by synthesizing, Buddha wanted to teach his disciples how they engage in insight meditation, vipassana bhavana. So India Vibhanga is another method how the mendicant engage in the vipassana bhavana. In India Vibhanga, Buddha has analyzed all faculties in one sense. Buddha has analyzed all those faculties to show the nature of all these faculties, and he has synthesized the faculties to show the continuity, the functions of each faculties. Now we'll take India Vibhanga. In India Vibhanga, there are 22 faculties Buddha has analyzed. 22 faculties connect with the being, that is 5 aggregates, and the being who practice the middle pathway, and how he developed into morality, concentration, and wisdom. And there the Buddha has explained all those stages as faculties. uh, you know, Buddha uh, did not have any view, ditti. Buddha said, I did not have any kind of view. That means he did not expect Sakkaya Ditti and also Sāsatavāda and Ukkhedaváda, eternalism and nihilism. So Buddha did not have such views. In Abhidhamma, in this Indiya Vibhanga, Buddha attempted to describe clearly that his doctrine does not bear any views like eternalism or nihilism, Sāsatavāda or Ukkhedaváda. Now we'll take the faculties one by one. Bhavit Indian Indian. Bhavisati Indian. Bhavisati Indian means there are 22 faculties. There are 22 faculties. First one is Chakkundriya. Chakkundriya is eye. So the functions of and the formation of eye all together it regards as eye faculty. Can you think of the formation of the eye? Before that, we will think of the formation of our body. According to biology, the fundamental unit of our body is called cell. You know, cell. So combination of many cells, they are formed tissues. And cells also do some function, and tissues also do some functions. Then by associating those tissues, they are formed eye faculty, eye. They are formed faculties. Association tissues, they are formed faculties of our body. Then combination of many faculties, there is systems like digestive system, blood circulation system in our body. The systems are there. That's how the body is formed according to the Bible. Here, Buddha takes each faculties and analyze them to show their functions and the nature. Now take the I India Vibhanga in I faculties is sensory faculty. Now you know the part of the eye, retina, optic, lens, iris, pupil, those are the parts of the eye. Now, each parts, they functions. When they functions together, after functioning together, uh, there arise the sensory faculties. There arise the sensitive place of the faculties. So it is called eye sensitive, or uh, faculty of sensory eye faculty. In that way, eye functions in that way. Buddha has explained this eye faculties formed by combinations of fourfold fundamental elements: Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu. Solidity, liquidity, heat, and movement. By combinations, all those four fundamental elements, the eye faculty is formed. And it functions, eye faculty functions by generating the eye sensitive. Now suppose about the blind person, he has eye and he has the part of eye, but he can't see because he does not have eye sensitivity. Eye sensitivity is not there. So he can't see. So that is the nature of eye faculty. It is formed by combination of Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu. And if we separate those elements of eye, we can't see their eye faculty that is absolute. So the eye faculty is absolute, nothing, absolute there. The Buddha showed by analyzing absolute there. When we separate those things into elements, there we can see absolute in I. If you can understand the absolute of I faculty, it is helpful you to continue your insight bhavana, vipassana bhavana. That is the nature of I faculty. There is no soul or entity or permanent things. Permanent things. Then the next faculty, ear faculty. Ear faculty is also seen. Ear is formed by combining the parts of ear and by functions of each part, there arise ear sensitivity. It also formed by combination of Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu. If we analyze the eye faculty into those fundamental elements, we see there is again absolutes, nothingness, absolutes. If any part that does not work, ear sensitivity can't be arised. That is the nature of the eye faculty. If we consider about deaf, we can't hear because the parts of his ear do not work together. Then the nose faculty is also seen. The nose faculty, it is the combination of the parts and they are formed by combination of Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu. There arise nose sensitivity. If there is no sensitivity, we can sense, we can smell, we can sense some smells. So that is the nature of nose consciousness. There is no permanent thing. If we separate, analyze into fundamental elements of nose, again, we see they are absolute. Then tongue also see, tongue faculty. Faculty means it does some certain tasks by combinations of the other parts. It's just like institute. In institute, many person works. Many person works at the output comes later. In that way, this faculty is also many parts there. They do each task and they form sensitivity. So nose sensitivity also seen. Nose faculty is also seen. It is formed by combinations of 4 fundamental elements. When we analyze those 5 into 4 fundamental elements, then there we see absolute. Absolute. If we understand absolute, it is helpful to continue our vipassana meditation. And tongue also same. and then the body faculty. Body faculty, that is matter, body faculty. Body faculty is also same. It is the combinations of many parts. And it also the formation of four ultimate elements by combinations of ultimate elements. They are formed body sensitive. If we analyze it into four elements, again we see in body faculty also, we see absolute there. Then mind faculty. Mind faculty is very important in Vipassana meditation. Mind faculty, Buddha has analyzed in deeper sense, in different ways, mind faculty. Mind faculty and mind sensitivity arise because of the contact. Because of the contact. You can understand if there is object outside, that object is contacted by the faculties, the suitable faculty, eye, ear, or nose. Then due to that contact, the mind faculty is arise there. So Buddha has analyzed this mind faculty, how the consciousness, how the 89 consciousness arises, the way how 89 consciousness arises. The Buddha first, the mind faculty analyzed as rooted and without rooted. Now, mind faculty arise with root. What are the roots? Roots, anger, greed, delusion. Those are the three roots. And non-root, without roots. Now think of the sense sphere consciousness. How many sense sphere consciousness? There are 54 sense sphere consciousness. In 54 sense sphere consciousness, you know there are 12 unwholesome consciousness, they are rooted in greed, anger, and delusion. Wholesome consciousness. When the person engages in unwholesome activity, say killing a being or stealing, there arise those 12 unwholesome consciousness according to the situations. Somanassa sahagata, ditthigata, sampayutta, asankara. Somanassa sahagata, ditthigata, sampayutta, sasankari. In that way, there are 12 unwholesome consciousness. They are rooted. And non-rooted, that is when you engage in meritorious deeds like donation and engage in observing seal morality, there arises some wholesome consciousness. Somanassa sahagata, jnana sampayutta, asankara. In that way, there are 24 wholesome consciousness, the non-rooted, without anger, without greed, without delusion, they arise. And they engage in, when the person engages in meritorious deeds, they arise. So, rooted and non-rooted. And wholesome, unwholesome, abhyakat. Wholesome, the wholesome consciousness and unwholesome consciousness and abhyakat consciousness. As I have explained earlier, there arise wholesome consciousness and unwholesome consciousness when person engage in unwholesome activity or wholesome activity. What are abhyakata consciousness is arahant, when they engage in meritorious deeds, it does not produce result. So they generate wholesome consciousness. Such consciousness are called abhyakata. That is, under 24 wholesome consciousness, we studied 8 functional consciousness. Wholesome functional consciousness. Those are all together, all those consciousness can be regarded as the mind faculty. And sense sphere, fine material sphere, and supramundane. So mind faculty can be analyzed as sense sphere. Sense sphere. that is the consciousness that generated in the beings of who are born in sense sphere, like human world, heavens. Then fine material sphere, consciousness. There are 15 fine material sphere consciousness. Those are the beings who live in Brahma world, Brahma Loka, Rupa Brahma Loka, material Brahma Loka. They arise those consciousness and immaterial consciousness. Brahmas without body, bodiless Brahmas, they generate those consciousness. And supramundane consciousness, there are 8 supramundane consciousness. When the person enter into Sovan, Sakurdagami, Anagami, Arihat, there arises those consciousness. They are called supramundane consciousness. So functions of all these consciousness, we can see it is mind faculty. And the mind faculty has been analyzed as happiness, pain, joy, and displeasure. That's also now when you engage in wholesome activity or unwholesome activity, if you do it with joy, that is happiness there. If you engage in the stars, there arise happiness. It is called somanassa. Somanassa. And when you have impact because of your unwholesome activity that you had done in your former birth, there arise pain. Now Buddha has explained there are 7 unwholesome resultant consciousness. Those are pain. It gives pain to the person. And 8 wholesome resultant consciousness, it gives happiness. And some consciousness are with displeasure. Domanassa sāgata patiga sampayutta asankarika sasankara. Domanassa means displeasure. You engage in that task, displeasure. In that way, the mind faculty has been analyzed. Happiness, pain, joy, displeasure. Then the mind faculty has been analyzed as eye consciousness, ear consciousness, tongue consciousness, nose consciousness, and body consciousness, mind consciousness. That is, it has been analyzed or described as the unwholesome resultant consciousness and wholesome resultant consciousness. Upekka sahagata chakku vijnana. Upekka sahagata sota vijnana. In that way, the I consciousness with equanimity. Ear consciousness with equanimity. Nose consciousness with equanimity. Tongue consciousness with equanimity. Body consciousness with equanimity. And mind consciousness with equanimity. In that way, the mind faculty has been analyzed. Then again and again the Buddha analyzed this mind faculty up to the person enter Nibbana. The condition of the person who developed his morality, Buddha explained by analyzing in that way those stages of morality. Now it has been analyzed as eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, body consciousness, and mind consciousness. Mind consciousness in that way. And again, eye consciousness, ear consciousness, body consciousness, with pain and with pain, with happiness, with element, with pleasure, the mind element. So the Buddha synthesized the mind as element because to make it easy to explain, mind element also. The mind element consciousness also. In that way, he goes to deeper conscience of the mind, analyze the mind. Then again, he goes to mind element consciousness, and wholesome, unwholesome, and abhyaka. In that way, he analyzes. In that way, in deeper conscience. Then he analyzes the mind faculty. Eye consciousness up to body consciousness. Eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness, and mind element. So he takes the mind as element again to describe the function of. And mind element consciousness and wholesome, unwholesome, and abhyaka. Wholesome consciousness there, unwholesome consciousness there, and avyakata consciousness also there. And eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, body tongue consciousness, body consciousness, and body consciousness with pain. Body consciousness with pain. That is, when the person have the impact of the unwholesome activity he had done in his former birth, the result comes. When the result comes, it gives pain. That is the consciousness with pain. And pleasure. Consciousness with pleasure. Pleasure is happiness. When the person have the impact or the result of his former meritorious deeds. He had engaged in meritorious deeds in his former birth. Now result come, impact come in this life that he sends there the pleasure. He has some pleasure, no pain there, no suffering. He sends pleasure because of his meritorious deeds done in his former birth. Then mind element, again, mind element consciousness. Buddha regard as mind as a mind element. In mind, there is mind element, but in the real sense, there is no element in mind. But to explain, Buddha takes this word, mind element, and in mind element, there arise mind element consciousness. Mind element consciousness. So this mind element consciousness, up to that state, the person goes when he enter into absorption. Patamadhyana, Utiyadhana, Chatuchadhana, in that way, Tatyadhana, Chatuchadhana, Panchamadhyana. Absorption, the concentration. When he enter into his concentration, samadhi, there to explain such state, Buddha has used the mind elements and mind element consciousness with pain and displeasure. Now, when the person engage in unwholesome activity, there arise concentration also, and with that there arise pain and displeasure. When the person engage in meritorious deeds or we engage in meditation, there arise those mind element and mind element consciousness. It is with pleasure, happiness. Mind element consciousness, wholesome, unwholesome. Then he engage in, when he engage in Sila, Samadhi, Panya. When the person engage in Sila, Samadhi, Panya, morality, concentration, and wisdom. To enter into wisdom, he has to develop his morality, sila, or through this mind faculty, Buddha has explained all the stages of the development of morality. Then he comes to the stage of samadhi after developing absorptions, and Buddha, through this mind faculty, he has explained all the stages of the concentration of the mind. Then the wisdom. In wisdom also, Buddha has explained under this mind faculty how the person enter into Nibbana and the nature or condition of the mind of the person who has attained Nibbana. So Buddha explained here, Akintanya, Neva Sanyana Sanyana. In that stages also comes under mind pattern. Akasanantayatana, Vinyanantayatana, Akintanyayatana, Neva Sanya, Nasanya. Akasanantayatana means he thinks that space is eternal. Space is eternal. That is the stage of mind. He thinks, he considers that space is eternal. He concentrates his mind on the eternity of space. Then Vinyan, consciousness. Consciousness is eternal. He understands consciousness is eternal. He focuses his mind on consciousness and he concentrates his mind on the eternity of consciousness. And Akintanyayata, that is absolute. Absolute is there. He understands. So all those things comes under mind faculty. Then he enter into Sovan, Sapurdagami, Anagami Arihat. When he enter into Sovan, he developed his mind to eradicate 10 fetters. Out of those 10 fetters, he eradicated 3 fetters. Sakkaya Ditti, Vichikitta, Silabbata, Paramas. So such person has the developed mind. So under this mind faculty, Buddha has analyzed the condition of those minds. The person who enter into Soa, the nature of the mind of that person. Then he enter into Pakudaga. He abolished 2 fetters, not completely. Kamaraga Patiku. that is to sense, to have desire to sensual pleasure, that is kama raga. Patiga is anger, abhorrence, anger, patiga. He eradicate those two fetters up to some extent, not completely. So under this mind faculty, Buddha has analyzed those persons' mind. And anaga, when the person comes to the state of anagami, then he completely eradicate those two fetters, kama, raga, patiga. Then after entering into Nibbana, he eradicate Ruparaga, Aruparaga, Mana, Udatta, Avidya. Those 5 fetters and enter into Nibbana. So when the person has entered into Nibbana, there is absolute of greed, lobha, anger, dosa, delusion, moha. Absolute of greed, anger, and delusion. So the Buddha, under this mind faculty, he has described the stages of the mind. So in that way, there are 22 faculties. After mind faculty, Buddha has explained Somanassa Indriya, Domanassa Indriya, Saddha Indriya. In that way, 22 faculties. It takes all those mental factors as faculties to analyze, to explain the functions of those mental factors. So, Saddhi Indriya, Viri Indriya, and there are 22 faculties. Buddha formed 22 faculties regarding the formation of the body and the functions of the body. And he analyzed and saw that there is no soul or entity egoism. And there is a continuity matter. To show the continuity, Buddha has synthesized the matters and explained. That's how the Buddha explained all those things, because he wanted to show the functions of the body of the being and the mind up to attain into Nibbana. India are the phenomena separated to do their own tasks. Yeah, now you have understood now. India, the faculty is, that is the phenomena for special tasks of the Buddha. So Buddha has identified such 22 Indian faculties, such 22 faculties. So I think the time is going now. We have to understand those other faculties also, that is Sukha India, Dukkha India, Somanasa India, Upekha India, Had India. In that way, we have to understand all those faculties. I think the time is up now. You can understand the functions of each faculties. Now the studying of those faculties means we study the experience of our life. We experience when we live in the society. We experience, we have a lot of experience. Now we, in this faculties, India Vibhanga, Buddha has analyzed all those experiences as a normal person or as a noble person. Person who has not attained to Nibbana, person who has already attained to Nibbana. So through these 22 faculties, Buddha analyzed very clearly, in deeper sense, we have to understand. By understanding those 22 faculties, it is easy to practice the Vipassana meditation. After practicing the Vipassana meditations, you can understand threefold of characteristic of every phenomenon: impermanence, unsatisfactory, and non-soul. I think the time is up now. I'm going to wind up the class. Thank you very much for listening to me. Blessing of the triple gems be showered upon you. Thank you very much.
Much merit to you, Reverend Sir, for information and informative talk on the faculties, the themed faculties, under which is one of the categories in the book of analysis that we have been looking at since the start of this current cycle of the classes. So if our listeners have any questions, this is a good time to ask. There was a hand raised by a listener earlier in the session, but I believe that the person has left. So if you do have any questions, please, you can post your question on chat here or use the QR code and log into a form and send us your questions, and we will certainly address them in our sessions. Or you can just unmute your microphone and ask your question. Meanwhile, I'll see if there are any questions on the YouTube channel. Okay, we don't seem to be having any questions. So just a gentle reminder, if any of our Dhamma listeners are interested, or if it pleases you, you may donate to the Sri Panyasara Dharma Vijaya Sahana Padinama, which is a community relief fund that is maintained by Bulola Ratna Siritero, and the details for that is available on the screen right now. You can, if you wish, you can take a screenshot of it. There is a question, Reverend Sir, is metta a mental faculty?
Vandami Banti.
Is there a question? Is metta a mental faculty?
Yes, metta. Yes, metta is a mental faculty. We can explain metta as a mental faculty also.
All right. I hope that answered the question. Thank you for posting it on chat. So until next week, Sunday, we will adjourn our Abhidhamma class, 7th class in the current cycle. And our sessions always start 9 o'clock in the morning until we decide otherwise. So once again, much merit to all our listeners, and thank you very much for your time, and much merit to our esteemed teacher, Bulola Ratna Siritero, for his valuable talks and his time. And a lot of effort go into getting online using technology and getting here. So we appreciate it. Thank you very much, Reverend Sir. I will end the meeting now.
Yeah.